you seen my dog? Marlow, a foxy Tibetan bull mastiff wolf whippet mix went missing from my yard at 9 o'clock this morning. Last seen driving a black Audi and clearing a group of small fellas out of it with the car park. Marlow is a dote of a dog, but he also has severe behavioural issues since coming off the drink. Do not try and talk to him, you won't get through to him. And if you wear black or white items of clothing, don't go near him. He'll go for your throat. Marlow is more just a member of my family. He's also the owner of my car and godfather to my child. Have you seen my dog? Marlow, if you're listening, please come home. Let's bring my bastard home. You're listening to the Best Bits podcast.
Listen to me.
The best fucking podcast in the universe.
Yes!
What's better than this? Nothing.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
I can't finish the sentence.
Shut up, bitch!
Nothing at all.
I can't finish the sentence.
Why should I know these things? Do you know them? Do you know them?
Say hello, Pot.
We can't put these out on the main feed, right?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. That don't call me show.
Oh God, you're fucking...
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
The best fucking podcast.
We got one!
With Will Collins
Talking to you, stupid cunt.
and Kevin Lehan.
You're not better than me, Will.
And I've said it before and I'll say it again.
Films are shit.
The best fucking podcast. Filled with laughter, tears, and fierce fucking bad language.
Fuck off.
Those intros are getting longer and longer.
They're catchy though. It's fucking catchy. John Murphy.
I'm delighted. He keeps sending them in and they're fantastic. Good man, John. Nobody knows who he is, but
The best fucking podcast in Ireland.
he's a big fan of ours.
But he's obviously using his art and his talent to be able to make incredible music to channel his...
I just hope he finds his dog.
That's the thing. He's channeling his worry of having lost his dog. Yeah, it's such a... The man is...
Smaller.
Yeah, at least he's not going out there on the beer. That's what I would say. He's going to do remixes.
Nah. Well, we're back for another one of these. We've seen some more stuff.
Yes, we should set a timer.
Get the ball
We should
rolling.
set a timer, Kevin.
3, 2, 1, start. Oh, we're in sync. Get the pads out. Our menstrual cycles are in sync. Oh, God.
Listen, we get ourselves. Listen. Yeah, we can
cat
get
is
ourselves in
pissing.
all sorts of. We can get ourselves in all sorts of trouble if we started following that train of thought. There's so many stories. So many stories.
Really?
What have you been watching? Yeah, oh, listen. Come here to me. I have so many mortifying mini-bit stories that I can't share here. I'm not sharing here. Anyway, what have you been watching, Kevin?
I watched The Flash.
What did you say you were called again?
Oh my God! Flash!
Hi.
I love you!
You have fancy friends.
You know, it was an Uber. Exactly.
Oh, I wanted to see this film. Me and Luke are looking to see this film. We hadn't been able to get out to see this film. What did you think of The Flash without spoiling it? So, spoiler free.
Well, you want to get quick to the cinema to see it because it is tanking.
Oh, God.
Yeah. A lot of these superhero movies are starting to flop. Are you happy about that?
Right. Well, I think it's inevitable.
More of them are underperforming than overperforming, and that could be the death knell. If Superman Legacy, if that flops, you won't see another DC movie for years.
I didn't look at the box office. Didn't see how Guardians of the Galaxy did. But
That did really well, I think. But that's because that had the sense of closure, like the final film in that franchise.
Mm-hmm. And it might be the outlier for this year. Might be the case.
Well, I can tell you, to save you Googling it there, that The Flash just crossed 200 million worldwide. But it has fallen to nearly 80% in its second week in the US.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's doing less than Black Adam at the moment. But who cares about box office? Who cares about that?
I'd buy that for $1.
I'll tell you this, and it surprised me. I loved the film.
Loved it.
I loved it. I thought it was great crack. I didn't think there was an extraneous scene in the whole thing. It bounced along. It was really funny. It gave me Back to the Future vibes. I thought that Ezra Miller was genuinely captivating and charismatic. He's the best special effect in the film because he's playing opposite himself. And they both have great chemistry with each other.
Oh, lordy lord. Now, keep in mind, I've avoided trailers for this. So I kind of I want to stay virginal going into the movie.
Okay,
So
but hang on. I wanted to say something else, which is I don't know there if I misgendered him. Because Ezra Miller is they pronouns. So if I just called him, I'm referring to the Flash, I think.
Okay. Yes, okay.
But anyway, they're brilliant in it. Literally, and using the correct pronouns, they're brilliant in it. It's an origin story told as Flash having to recreate his origin in order to put back a mistake that he's made where he has tried to save his mother in the past. He's realized that he can travel faster than the speed of light and time travel. And he goes back to a moment when his mother was murdered and his dad was blamed for the murder and his dad is in prison. And he wants to save his mother. And the actress that plays his mother has got this lovely warmth about her. And I found the film very tender in places, but overall, it was just fucking great crack. I laughed out loud multiple times. It was just, it's one of my favorite superhero movies there's been. And I'm shocked because I've gone way off that genre. And I watch another thing that is a big superhero release and I didn't like it at all. But this following on the heels of Across the Spider-Verse, which was also a multiverse story, I'm surprised at how much fun this was and that it didn't wear out its welcome on me.
Because you just said on our last mini bits, or whenever we were discussing the Spider-Verse, that you loved the Spider-Verse. So you've had two superhero movies
I have, yeah.
back to back.
I'm shocked.
Absolutely nailing it for you.
But this isn't a superhero movie in that he's not up against a big villain. It's not a big battle.
Okay.
Well, General Zod's in it. Fuck, I don't know. You've not seen a trailer at all, have you?
No, I haven't seen a trailer at all, no.
Do you know that Batman's in it?
I know Batman's in it. I know Batman's in it, and that's it.
He's great in it. Michael Keaton, 71-year-old Batman, recluse. Bruce Wayne.
That's the only thing that's actually pulling me back into the cinema, because I actually so want to see my Michael Keaton Batman on the big screen again. That's what I want to see.
I'll tell you what, he's leaping about the place like a 12-year-old in that suit. The stuff that he gets up to, it's unbelievable. Backflips and drop kicks and everything. And his
all him.
His Batwing, it's all him. No, there's actually a credit in it, which is Batman stunt performer or suit performer. So I think there was somebody else in the suit. Probably a 14-year-old.
Okay.
But the Batwing is brilliant in this. It's just it's a really fun, colourful, poppy film. It gave me Superman 3 vibes, but the best version of that. Okay. Very, very funny. The end credits were very, very funny. You know, the Flash's superpowers is that he can slow everything down and he can phase through things. And there's a moment where, and this is quite early on in the movie, he's like the janitor for the Justice League, so he's having to clean up after them. So everything is going wrong, and Alfred is telling Flash, there's a water pipe burst, and you've got to do this, and you've got to do that. And he's like, Jesus, can I do something else? And it's taking place at a hospital, and on the top floor of this maternity ward, it tips over, and about a dozen babies and a nurse and a dog go flying out the window and fall into their death. And he has to eat to recharge. If he doesn't eat, his powers run out, and he's having to save all these babies, and they're all falling in slow motion, and it's very, very funny. The CGI is a bit ropey, but I think that's intentional. There's a moment where he puts a baby in a microwave, and it's very, very funny. Honestly, it's getting slaughtered, and it's bombing, and it doesn't deserve it. Of all the absolute dreck that's come out over the last 5 or 6 years of superhero films, this is not the one to bomb. This is not a Black Adam. This is a good, fun film, and I'll be shocked if you don't come out of it just skipping along going, I really enjoyed that. It was good crack.
This is not Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania.
This put a spring in my step, and I'm feeling a little gypped because there's never going to be a sequel to it now. And if you ask me, when they first did the Justice League with Zack Snyder and you had that annoying Flash character, a whole movie with that character, I thought, oh my God, no chance. But he's brilliant in it. It just gave me it gave me like Keanu Reeves in Bill and Ted vibes. It's
Oh, wow.
a lot of fun.
I was thinking about going watching it last night, and I was like, we're so right. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to get the cinema pass because I have to get out and see the new Indiana Jones like in the next week. So I went, I'll be chancing my arm. I'll be, you know what I mean? There's, you're gonna go. Can I go to the cinema? No, is it okay if I go tonight and next week? And I've got another thing and this other thing. So you kind of feel like, I'm going to save my pass for Indiana Jones. And now I really want to see it.
Do you have a pass for the cinema?
No, it's not
you
a
mean
pass.
permission?
Yeah, it's basically the other parent.
Can I go
or
to the
single
cinema?
parent pass. It's kind of like...
You've got to the cinema already this month.
Exactly, yes. But you kind of feel bad if you've gone to the cinema like this last week, which I was in the cinema last week to see Into the Spider-Verse.
I know.
The new, that one.
The cheeky to go off and have 2 hours sitting on your hole.
I know. Nuts.
Honestly, it's going to be better than in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I guarantee it.
Okay, right. Okay, I definitely want to see it.
All these celebrities came out like singing its praises, and I was quite cynical of that. I thought, this is all a bit feeling like, let's get Tom Cruise to call in a favor.
Stephen King did.
Yeah, but his taste is diabolical. Like, he doesn't have a fucking clue. He loves terrible shit. And people like... It's the same with Guillermo del Toro. The two of them will just say anything, and people are like, "Oh my God, Jesus, this is it, second coming." But
Guillermo del Toro loved Wolfwalkers. He absolutely came out and he gives beautiful, beautiful recommendation about Wolfwalkers.
He loves everything. He loves everything. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing it. No, The Flash is very good. Go see it, and it's got a really funny last line. Really funny. Oh, and what I was going to say was that I understand why people like Tom Cruise were saying this is a really good film, because like, this is a movie. This is what I would have been sitting in the cinema to watch 89, 90 and just like kicking my feet up and chewing popcorn and going, I want to work in the movies. I want to do that.
Oh God, no! I have to take like because Luke's been asking. He's been asking me. So I really want to see the Flash. And I'm like, I know. And he said, I really want to see Indiana Jones too. It's like, I know.
You'll love it. You'll genuinely love it. And if you don't, I don't care.
No, I really want to see it now. Who directed it again? I can't remember the name of the person who directed.
Andy Muschietti. I think that's how you say his surname. He's the guy that did those two It movies.
Oh, okay. I only saw the first one.
It's probably the better of the two. But he's been tapped to do Batman and Robin.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on.
Really?
Let's get
So this is under the James Gunn guided DC universe.
Yeah, and they're going to have a literal boy wonder this time. It's going to be like a 14-year-old Robin. So it's going to be...
Okay.
It's not going to be like,
Chris O'Donnell. I caught a little bit of Batman and Robin at the weekend, when I've got the baby in my arms and I'm just flicking through the channels, and there was a moment where maybe it was Batman Forever, but I think it was Batman and Robin. No, it was Batman Forever.
Do you know I've never seen that film all the way through?
Which one?
Batman and Robin.
I hate to disappoint you, but
Oh yeah, you don't have to. You really don't.
I mean,
have
it
to,
looked
Kevin.
terrible.
rubber lips are immune to your charms.
There was a moment in Batman Forever where Chris O'Donnell is doing his laundry, but he's using like his laundry as like his wet laundry as nunchucks, and he's like going, and they're like put on like an intense action soundtrack behind him as he's like, and like whipping his.
It's like locker room japes.
Yeah, but he's like taking it really seriously. He's like, oh yeah,
whipping Gunter's ass with the towel. Stop! I'm full of chocolate.
Look, that kid's got buttons. Who's got a wet towel? Come here, you butterball.
Don't make me run! I'm full of chocolate!
I thought you were referring to Alfred. I was like, oh, do it more. Oh, Master Dick.
No, when they're bullying the exchange student in The Simpsons, the fat guy, they're chasing him and they're whipping his ass with a towel. He's like, no, stop, I'm full of chocolate.
Oh my God. I actually have to go. I would love, that'll be one of my retirement projects is to go back and watch all The Simpsons. Maybe I'll start doing it at night or something like that.
I did that a few years back.
Oh yeah?
I did, because I did it as an experiment. I wanted to see where I fell off on The Simpsons. Because on Sky, which is the channel over here that shows them, it's like our version of Fox. Yeah. They're all out of order. So, you could be watching an episode and thinking, is this season 12? Is this season 16? Is this season 20 or whatever? And so I watched them all in order. And from about season 2 onwards, once the animation started to settle down.
Yeah.
And I thought the show was superb up till about season 17.
Oh, wow. That's much longer than I hung. I think I dropped off around 10 or 12, I think. Or maybe that's the last I
Yeah, most
saw
people say it's season 9. It's up till around then when it starts to fall off. But no, there was a season, I can't remember which one it was now. It was like 13 or 14 that felt like it was losing it. And then it came back, and it came back really strong. But it was till that guy Swartzwelder left. When he left the show, it just completely changed tone, and the characters just became a little bit meaner and more sarcastic and dumb. So they didn't have that tenderness anymore, because it was one of the things that, I don't know, made The Simpsons kind of special, is that you could end an episode with like Homer looking up at the stars for his mother who's gone, or him and Marge like cycling off down the road on a bicycle in the sunset, singing. Just those very sweet moments.
Or him going back, one of those kind of flashback episodes where he was talking about when Maggie came into their lives, and how he continues to work how does he manage to survive at the
do it for her
plant and do it for her, and he's got all pictures of her up there, and it was like, oh, that's very sweet.
Yeah,
very,
it
very sweet.
lost that after about 17. Apparently it's come back, but I just don't like the way it looks nowadays. It looks very digital, and also Marge's voice is gone. She can't do it anymore.
Too many fags.
No, I think the actress now is in her, Julie Kavanagh, she's in her like mid to late 70s.
Yeah.
Marge sounds a little bit like this. Homer. Bart, stop that, you little cunt.
You almost had it, and then you slipped into an Irish accent or
Yeah,
but you were very good. That's the best I've ever heard. Anyway, try and do a Marge. Actually, if I close my eyes and I could get you to record that and have you go off this.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Will.
That's it, Homer. Pull my hair.
Stop. I'm basically.
Stop. You'll wake the children.
Oh, stop. Oh, God.
Oh, God. Do you know, if you Google anything naughty about The Simpsons, you'll see some fierce, fucking terrible fan art.
Listen, I've seen awful fan art on my own stuff as well. And
have you? Let me just look that up. Oh, yeah.
You know, Kevin, my topical viewing stuff is basically me catching up to you. That's what's actually going on in my life. So I'm just basically catching up.
Isn't
to
that
all
always the way, though?
It really is. So I took 4 young lads to the cinema, completely jacked up on sweets and mineral soft drinks.
Minerals. You're so Irish.
I just call them.
Do you want
what do you want to drink?
Do you want some soda pop?
I don't even say. I've just heard people call it soda pop. What's soda pop? It's soft drinks.
Do you want some fizzy drinks? Do you want some
fizzy drinks?
Do you want a Sprite?
I had...
Give me a G&T, Dad.
I went to see it, and this is with 4 young lads who I was also corralling, and I have a young fella beside me slurping on a slushy, like... And even like asking me, oh my God. And this is like someone.
Do you have misophonia?
Oh God. Well, especially when the audio of the actual screen is quite low. Do you know, usually the audio scene is really loud. And I thought it would drown him out. But no, he was the primary sound I was hearing. Him grazing for the 2 hours. He was grazing. That I kind of went, you know what?
Thumped him in the back of the head.
I don't think the straw's working. You should just take the lid off and just kind of just try and tip it.
Oh, he wasn't like sucking the straw, was he?
Oh, he was sucking it through a straw. He was like, and it was a crowded screen. And so I knew the people behind me would have been like, just their knuckles. They would have been digging their fingers into the arms of their
You shut the fuck up!
So anyway,
But what did you think of the film?
I thought the film was really, really good. Watching it, remember I went in with that kind of worry about the visual aesthetic being over too much for my eyes. As I was watching the film, I had a flashback to when I was in the cinema for the first first iteration of the Spider-Verse movie. And I remembered, I went, oh, I saw the first fucking Spider-Verse movie in 3D. And that was what fucked me up big time. I was really, I've an awful time with 3D anyway.
Back when they used to have 3D films.
Oh, Avatar. I had an awful time. So I have an awful time watching anything in 3D, which really screwed me up for the first one. So this one, it had all, a whole multitude of different aesthetics, and it didn't bother me. I actually just adored watching it and being in each of the different, styles of these worlds and all that sort of stuff. I thought it was a really, really good film. My only misgivings is that I didn't get the whole film. I wanted to see the second part. Like I knew it was a part one.
There's been some news on that. There's been a few takedown articles that have come out about the process of making that film, where some of the animators, there was like 100 animators quit the film.
Quit it?
Yeah, but there was 1,000 worked on it or something like that, some astronomical number. But they were having to redo fully rendered animated shots 4 or 5 times. And and it was crucifying them. And they said there's no way that the Beyond the Spider-Verse, the third one, is coming out next year, that they haven't even started work on it. And
oh my God.
They just said that Philip Lord, his style is incredibly chaotic.
If you're coming in, like as I know it from the world of animation, once you get for us anyway, once we get our voices recorded, it's a locked ship. It's you got to be moving from then on out, and you can't change anything. You can cut stuff because that doesn't mean that you're adding any extra work, because you've got a production line that you've got to achieve, and you've got a release that you've got to hit. And if you start changing like scenes after they've been fully animated,
do you know there's like 3 or 4 versions of the film out there right now that they've changed?
What?
Yeah. So there's certain iterations of the film where Donald Glover only appears in the film once, not twice. There's certain versions where people haven't seen Miles Morales riding a horse in the film.
Wow.
Yeah.
You mean out there, like on the torrent verse, or actually?
No, in cinemas that they've released different versions.
What?
Not deliberately, but because they was scrambling. So it's like, maybe it's, V29.99 final 2 final that went out.
Right.
And then the next one is final V2. But,
well, I suppose that has happened. Did we discuss this? Or I had a conversation about this with someone where a film had been changed post-release, because it's in the digital realm. You can do that.
They do it in music
after
as
the
well.
film has been released. Well, there you go. After the film was released, they've actually altered stuff. And I was actually having a conversation, I think maybe about one of the Star Wars movies, one of the George Lucas prequels, how they had definitely changed something from the initial version of the release to later, like, a couple of weeks down the road, they changed like 1 or 2 shots or something like that. So
I did
possible.
it on the last podcast. After it was out, I went back and I re-edited the last minute of the episode, and I reposted it. So, in this digital world, yeah, you can do anything. When you're talking away to yourself, and I'm like, we'll be here all day listening to him. There was a moment where I cut you off unintentionally in the edit, and I went back and fixed it. But no, Beyonce, her last album, she kept changing things in the music, and the people who were like diehard fans were like going into it and saying the sample that she used on that song is no longer there, and it now has different. She's got different lyrics, and it's the modern world. I suppose you can just continually changing things. No, you don't have a physical copy. You just have, and you don't have access to that permanently either. Because that's the other thing. What was it? They've just decided again, and this time it's Paramount Plus, to delete a load of shows off of their streaming service. What? Apparently, and these days, you can never get the truth of anything online because everything is just opinion, and most news sites now are just aggregates for opinion. So it becomes what people are saying is the news story. But apparently it's so that they don't have to pay residuals or royalties to the performers on those particular shows. They can write it off completely and it just becomes a tax write-off. So it's not just Disney that are doing it. Now Paramount are doing it as well. And then Warner Brothers are selling half their back catalogue for like 500 million, less than Instagram.
It's disgusting.
It's crazy.
We are in a very, very strange period. It's a very, very strange time.
And once the AI gets here, we're all fucked.
Hello.
No, Kevin, the AI is here. So we're all fucked.
It is here. And I can tell you, I just watched Secret Invasion, the new Marvel thing.
Yeah.
And the opening titles to that were rendered by AI. It's like a Mid-Journey style opening credits.
It's disgusting. And what was very frustrating about that is the filmmaker coming out, or the showrunner coming out going, oh, well, we thought it was thematically in keeping with what the show was. You know, using AI to do the opening credits is kind of like some sort of thematic connection to the show. I don't know what sort it is. Anyway, you watched it. Is it good? Is it not so good? Should I give it a go? What?
Fury is taught on June 21st. Experience the 6-episode event that's a game-changing spy thriller.
We don't know who we can trust.
It's an absolute masterclass. A riveting and intense drama.
You're out of moves, Fury.
Marvel at its best.
You got to figure out which side you're on.
Nick Fury in Marvel Studios' Secret Invasion, streaming June 21st, only on Disney+.
Hated it.
Don't miss your words now. Just let me know what you thought, right? I just
No, because I think what they did with the opening credits is immoral, and it's setting a precedent that you can do this. And it's pulling the wool over the eyes of the audience who won't know that is pulling a fast one.
Yeah.
And I find it really creepy that you're watching fake art that's been created by algorithm. I don't like it at all. The show itself is really glum. It looks drab as fuck. It looks so low energy. It is incredibly boring. And I loved the comic that it was based on. But one of the things that was compelling about that comic is that the characters within it were the huge main players. I think the protagonist of that one was Spider-Woman. You know, you're dealing with, is Steve Rogers a Skrull? That's way more interesting than, is Maria Hill a Skrull? Or is Emilia Clarke a Skrull?
Okay.
It was such a slog. I don't want to be too harsh on it or whatever, but I didn't enjoy it. I love The Flash, and then to go watch this, I just thought, like, you're adapting a comic book and you're doing this low-rent BBC espionage show.
Okay.
With Hobgoblin-looking Skrulls.
I didn't even know what it was about. I just knew Samuel Jackson's Nick Fury was in it. That's all I knew.
So Skrulls are changelings. They can be anybody.
I'm aware of that from the Captain Marvel movie. They were in the Captain Marvel movie.
It was a really good run of comics, and I loved it. Who's human, who's not human, who's been masquerading this entire time, and the paranoia between all the different characters. But it was colourful and fun, and then the show is so grey, and like, why adapt it and make it worse?
But also one of the elements of the disconnect between the fun of the Marvel comic books versus all of the visual media that we have out there right now is that in the Marvel comic books, you could have a Black Panther or a Captain America or an Iron Man show up, right? Because it didn't cost you anything extra. It was just like, yeah, you can have them and integrate them into your story as long as it kind of like nests neatly with everything else. But in our universe now, in live action, you can't do that because you've got to hire those actors, or you've got to, follow the continuity of the movies and all that sort of stuff. And it's just not feasible.
Yeah, this show's not for me. I'm not going to keep watching it. I'm being a bit facetious by saying I fucking hate it. I didn't fucking hate it, but I didn't enjoy it.
You weren't interested. Yeah.
I wasn't interested. I was bored.
Can I, just very briefly, because I kind of didn't get my main thing about Across the Spider-Verse out, right? And I thought Across the Spider-Verse was very good, but I was slightly frustrated watching it because all the scenes were great. It was incredibly well performed. The art looked amazing. It was very kinetic. It was very exciting. I loved the main kind of antagonist, polka dot character.
Oh, let's get it right, because Dave on the cinema corrected
The
me.
Dot.
I said it was
What?
Mr. Oh God, I said it was Mr. Dot, and it's the Spot is his name. I think.
Spot.
The Spot. Yeah,
Okay.
I called him Mr. Dot, and Dave was like,
Okay.
"Oh, I agree with your thoughts, Kev, but you called him the wrong thing." And I was like, "Fuck it, that's our podcast. It's
We get things wrong all the time.
It's a feature, not a bug."
The film, for me, anyway, I was a little bit frustrated at times, despite being completely entertained by the performances and the visuals of it. But the actual story and the story structure kind of had me a little bit frustrated.
Why? It was really good. I thought it was really
Well,
sweet.
let me just. I did think. I thought it was. I'm saying a little bit of frustration. I agree with you. I think it was very good. I thought it was very good. It has two big openings. You were right when you said the first act is an hour long.
Uh-huh.
The prologue to the films
25
minutes long. Yeah, and I was like, oh, so that was in itself a first act. So that's the first act of one film. Then we get our credits, and then we get the first act again. So we get another first act. So we get two first acts in the first hour, which is okay, fair enough. But you do have to kind of like restart your kind of like engine a little bit. Or for me, I'm like, okay, right, we start. And then an awful lot of what followed, even though it was quite clever, how they employed it, I thought it was very, very clever. So much of the second half of the film was an exposition dump that there were times where I went, okay, in weaker hands, this would be a complete mess. But I think they threaded the needle, and it works, though. It does work. But what happens is if you start dumping exposition in the second half of your story, it's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous game. A lot of very dangerous because you're losing momentum. And it's a long film for an animated film, but I think they managed
longest in history.
Long for an animated. Oh, it's long. Oh, it is actually the longest American one.
Longest American animated movie in history.
Oh, you said that. Yeah, I said that's right. But I think it works because they pay off the first act and kind of give it a good closure, which I thought was lovely. I thought it was really beautiful.
Gwen's story.
Gwen's story. Yeah, I thought that worked. And then they had a great little twist at the end of the whole film, which we're not going to spoil here, which I thought was very clever. And now it was almost like a Avengers Infinity War, where now I'm excited for the possibility of the part 2. And I'm disappointed to hear that they're having so much trouble. I'm just disappointed to hear that it's a bit of a difficult production. But
none of that matters, though. That should have no bearing whether everybody got along and had the greatest time ever or whether everybody suffered like you wouldn't believe. The film is what the film is, and you've got to take it as its own hermetically sealed little gift to you. But what I would say is you and I could never get away with writing a script that was structured like that. It would get noted to fuck. We'd be told that's the wrong way to write. You cannot do it. Stop it. Tear it up. Get rid of it. So I was sitting there thinking, I am really enjoying the fact that somebody was allowed to get away with telling the story the way they wanted to tell it. And it's entertaining me. And it didn't feel beholden to convention or formula. So I appreciated that the first act restarted and kept throwing more and more ideas at me. I just thought, this is what you're not allowed to do. And I'm loving experiencing somebody that got to do it.
Yep. No, listen, I thought it was very enjoyable. And the other litmus test was those 4 young lads that I had beside me. At the end of the film, they all stood up
and applauded.
And they all came. Well, well, this is the closest equivalent to doing that. When they all came over and they said, "Is that it?" And I went, "Yeah." And they said, "But it was so short. Like that was the shortest film ever." And I went, "We've been sitting here for over 2 hours."
Oh my God.
Yeah, we want more. But they all came out going, "That was the best film ever." They all loved it. So listen, they got it. So I enjoyed it as well. But that was the only thing where in the second half I went, oh, a lot of exposition dump here. Oh my God, if I was the writer of that film, I would be worried. I would be going, oh God, would this work? Would this work? Are we completely sacrificing momentum here?
See, I just felt like I don't have to deal with any of this, so keep entertaining me. Do you know what I've started watching and I am loving it? And I started watching it because there was an episode that just came out in the States that was getting everybody buzzing about the show again. And so I said, okay, fine. I need to dive in and get up to speed on this show. And it's The Bear.
This is your brother's house. I was running it fine without you.
Why didn't you leave it to you then? Don't wipe your hands on your apron, chef.
Chef. I refer to everybody as chef because it's a sign of respect.
You can throw down, huh?
Behind.
So how you gonna pass the family test? Delicious or impressive?
Delicious is impressive.
Word.
Yo, family's up.
I just never had plátanos with like grass on it.
We want to change this restaurant, right? But we have to change the chemistry.
Why are you always like watching me?
Because it's just sort of my job.
We're the chili flakes. Cousin organizes, it's more confusing.
Right there. Labeled chili flakes.
This is a delicate ecosystem, and it's held together by a shared history and love.
I have every intention of turning this into a respectable place of business. Eventually.
Time to try the new sandwiches.
Yo, this shit looks different.
What do you think?
It's redundant and white, just like you.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was out. I checked it last week and it wasn't out yet, but brilliant. So have you watched it? I love season 1. Loved it. That was great.
So I've only seen the first 2 episodes of season 1 and I'm loving it. I love the aesthetic of it. I love the energy of it. It's giving me Uncut Gem vibes, but it doesn't have that irritating as goddamn hell soundtrack that Uncut Gems had. This has got a much more...
Oh, so you haven't seen... sorry. I'm just clarifying. So this is you going back to watch season 1?
This is me just catching up on the show that I've not watched it.
Oh, excellent. Season 1 is excellent.
And they're short episodes.
They're short episodes. There's one episode in particular that's around halfway through the season. And the tension is ratchet. It's like one morning, one high pressure. Well, every day is a high pressure day in that kitchen. But this one particular day where things are incredibly high pressure. And I realized about halfway through that it was all a oneer. The whole episode is a oneer. And I went, oh my God, the precision. But it wasn't an ostentatious oneer. It wasn't.
They shoot it on film, don't they?
It looks
cinematic as fuck.
Well, there was one particular episode where I fucking thought it was just... I thought it was so powerful, so well performed. There was the assistant. I don't know if you've seen her. The kind of the girl he hires, who's an outside chef.
Yeah, the black girl.
She's brilliant.
Good.
I think she's a stand-up comedian in real life as well.
Okay.
But she is fucking brilliant in it. She's a really great performer, and I love her character.
Season 2 has come out in totality in the US, but it's being released here weekly in July.
Oh.
So, get on the high seas and we'll have that done for the next... No, I'm joking.
You would easily gobble up 2 episodes of these back to back.
I did.
No problem.
I did today.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm glad.
I'll tell you, I saw one other thing. I don't know how to talk about this one, though, because it felt like it was beyond me. But I watched a new Wes Anderson movie, Asteroid City.
My word, it's hot.
It's the desert. What'd you expect?
I don't know, but I'm melting like a cut petunia.
Asteroid City from director Wes Anderson.
Tonight you're in for a real treat.
I don't like the way that alien looked at us.
Secure the site. Detain all witnesses.
I'm in no hurry. I like the desert. I like aliens.
This isn't the beginning of something, is it?
We're about to find out.
Asteroid City, rated PG-13. In select theaters June 16th. In theaters everywhere June 23rd.
I'm a big Wes Anderson fan. I'm looking forward to this.
So am I.
Right.
His films cast a spell over me. But this one felt a little bit like a nightmare.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What happened?
So it is 2 stories being told at the same time. One of them is like a play that's about the goings on that take place in the main storyline, which is the pastel Acme Roadrunner type Asteroid City. Jason Schwartzman's character, his wife has died and he's traveling across country with his 3 kids. His car breaks down and he calls Tom Hanks to come pick him up. And then there's just a whole load of other characters, like so many characters, too many characters in this one horse town where an asteroid has hit. And meanwhile, Bryan Cranston is narrating the story by taking us behind the sets of the film to do a very meta sort of like what this all means or what it's trying to grapple with. And it felt to me a little bit like Mars Attacks meets Synecdoche or adaptation, like a Charlie Kaufman type thing, directed by the AI version of Wes Anderson.
Oh dear.
It's so affected, and every character is speaking in this mannered way that it just didn't hook me. I just felt so like disconnected from the film and just struggling with it. I kind of got what it was going for when there's a moment where Margot Robbie shows up, but everybody just rabbiting on in that Wes Anderson style, like babbling. Why do I need 42 characters? And I couldn't track what was going on. I think that's the point. I read an interview afterwards where there's a line in it where it gets repeated often. You can't wake up if you don't go to sleep.
Okay.
They say that over and over again. You can't wake up if you don't go to sleep. And the article that I read was like asking all of the cast, what do you think that means? None of them had a fucking clue. And they were like saying, I think it has to do with we're so tapped into the digital world and like reading news on our phones that we have to put them down and go to sleep. And I was like, I'm not sure that that's what it means. I think it's like a new day can only begin when the current day ends. So stuff has to end for something else to begin. And I think it's grappling with, I don't know, the complexities of being alive. But I was totally like disconnected from the film.
And listen. I think Wes Anderson has an exceptional batting average for the films that he's made. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt of like he's earned he's earned the right to release a stinker as long as he comes back and he releases another gem like a Grand Budapest Hotel or Moonrise Kingdom or Royal Tenenbaums or Rushmore. He's made so many fucking beautiful films. I love those films. Yeah. So I think he still has it in him. I think he's just misstepped a little bit. And I'll wait to see it. I'm going to, but I'm trusting your judgment on this. And also the other reviews I've read haven't been too kind. See, I'm still going to see it.
I saw it getting a lot of good reviews, so I don't know. I feel like it just didn't catch me in the right mindset. I was just struggling to get on board with the rat-a-tat-tat nonsense that everyone was speaking.
Did you see the French Dispatch?
I did, yeah. I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
we spoke about that on a prior episode. I can't remember which one.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, yeah. So I'm kind of like, and I know that a lot of people kind of were iffy about that one, but I was like, no, I actually thought it was quite fun.
This one just feels like there's too much artifice. It's an awful lot of meta shit.
The thing that I love about Wes Anderson that he's able to do is he's actually able to, amongst all that, as you said, artifice and archness and all this sort of stuff and stylistic stuff, he actually can pull out moments of poignancy.
There's a moment like that. There's a moment like that in there, which it kind of almost turned it around on me. But up until then, what was bugging me is that characters were stating exactly what they felt all the time. Okay. It was like, I don't like you. Ever since my daughter died, you don't mean anything to me. I'm here to take the kids. I understand that you feel that way, and I feel the same. It's all arch and false. And
okay, I'm still going to watch it because it's just. When I'll get to it probably when it comes to screener season.
See The Flash instead.
Yeah, I in my mission, or in my journey to catch up to your kind of past things that you've mentioned in previous episodes, I watched the entire season of Poker Face, which is on the TV box. That one which you mentioned
you
before.
Were so confused by me saying it's very cozy. It's a murder mystery show. It's a bit like Touched by an Angel. And you're like, Touched by an Angel?
It's got a slight vibe of Touched by... When you say slight vibe of Touched by an Angel, it throws me way off. Way off.
I'm so confused about this show. Like,
What's it like? Always knowing the truth. There's nothing mystical about it. I could just tell.
When anyone is lying.
Yeah. I know what you did, you psycho.
You're gonna find Charlie killed, and you're gonna bring it to me.
You live on the road, right? What's it like? Leave everything behind, start fresh.
I got wolves on my fender. Oh, I gotta keep moving. Holy. It wasn't an accident. I think there's been a murder. Look out! I have been kind of a death magnet. I'm trying to figure out what happened.
You watch too much Dateline.
I could tell she was lying.
What is it, the woman's intuition?
No, it's not like a tampon commercial, okay? It's a real thing.
Can't wait no to see it. Jesus.
I was going, it's more like a Columbo Murder, She Wrote type show, but with a grittier edge, you know? But it still has that warmness. There's still
Kind of gritty.
Yeah, but it's not.
It starts gritty.
It starts, but I think some of the episodes kind of go a little bit kind of, they edge over they kind of touch a little bit on how gritty it is. But I get when you're
What are your favorite episodes?
The early episodes. So myself and Karen pretty much had the same opinion about it. The first few episodes were great. They were loads of fun. Where she's the actress, I can't remember the lead actress's
Natasha
name.
Lyonne.
Thank you. She's great. She's excellent. She has this affected kind of Columbo vibe to her.
Bullshit. I just, I got this thing, bullshit.
Is she related to Marge, Julie Kavner? Because she kind of has the same voice.
Homie, take it easy. You're gonna blow my back out.
It is like she's... Stop. That's awful. But it is like she's after driving in her 1970s car from the 1970s. Each episode ends up being a kind of a procedural, and it quickly, as someone said, I don't know, was it you who said don't binge the show?
Yeah,
and
I said
totally
don't binge
agree
it.
with that sentiment
Because
Don't
the
binge it.
formula is so rigid that once you pick
it's-
up on the speed of it, it's like, okay, she's not going to be in the first act. No,
Yeah,
she comes
here
in.
she
She's
comes.
been there all along, and yeah.
So once we actually started to get wrote to that, it's the middle of the first season became weak for us. So I very much enjoyed, let's say, the very first episode where we just kind of see her get off on her adventure.
That was great.
To the casino.
Yeah.
Then I very much enjoyed the next episode. I think is the pit trucks, the kind of like
The gas
truck stop
station.
station.
Yeah.
Gas station. I really
That was
enjoyed
good.
I'm pretty sure the last episode was very good as well. 'cause
I
it
didn't
kind of-
like the rock band one.
No, didn't like the rock band one. Thought the Nick Nolte one was also ropey.
Mm-hmm. I like the one which was it Ellen Barkin? There was a play when they were putting on a play.
Yes,
I
that
like
was great fun.
Give me noises.
That
off
was
vibes.
great fun. Yeah, that was great. And I was going to say, oh, is she? It's Ellen Barkin. Wow. Nick Nolte's in it.
Mhm.
Is an episode in it. I didn't like the ending of that one, but I kind
He
of
also
just
sounds like
hanging out.
Marge.
Yeah. So we are over here. It's like, oh my god, it's so now you've created this fan art of Simpsons episodes of Marge and Homer being intimate with each
You're
other.
so
Nick
juvenile,
Nolte
Will.
in the corner. And Natasha Lyonne, like just kind of watching.
Do you know she's
This is
quit
how
the
we're
cigarettes now, and she doesn't sound that way anymore.
She does not.
She does. She just did an interview with one of her really good friends, the New Zealand actress Melanie Linsky. You know what they do, the actors on actors thing.
Not really. Go on.
My God, you don't have a fucking clue about anything. Variety do actors on actor interviews. They can be really interesting. But she's quit the cigarettes and her voice is cleared up entirely.
Oh wow! Oh, who knew?
Yeah,
smoking.
So now she sounds like Lisa, not Marge.
Oh,
Melanie Linsky.
Natasha Lyonne.
In the flesh.
Welcome to my soundstage. I told you I bought one.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was surprised at that choice, but it's beautiful.
So you know that had always been a dream of mine ever since my teenage years.
I got this thing, you know.
Oh.
Give me one margarita,
Oh.
I'ma open my leg. Give me two
Oh.
margaritas, I'ma give you some.
That was my timer just went off, Kevin.
Well, your music on your timers is unreal. Do you change it every week? Where'd you get
I
that
do.
one from? Margaritas.
But listen, we both kind of. I think there's more. I think it was the episodic nature of it was what kind of. I think it's also the one of the core aspects of the show is that it's this procedural Murder She Wrote Columbo type show where she's going from a new location to new location, and that format worked when they were coming out weekly,
Yes.
where you weren't going to, and when you binge it, it just breaks. It just doesn't work. So,
But can I tell you another thing that I loved about the show? The look of the episodes. You felt like you're on a road trip with her. So you're seeing different parts of America, and I liked that.
Yeah. It felt like a show that's. It felt like it's a different thing than what you find out there right now. It was a breath of fresh air.
Yes.
That's what I would say about it.
Yeah. A throwback.
But some episodes are better than others.
They are. Funny how that happens.
Hey, do you have any recommendations?
No. Do you?
I do. I'll
find something.
Spent an Audible credit because I finished the James Bond book, which was like 152 hours long, on another Audible exclusive.
I don't have time to watch anything, and I can't get to cinema, but I can listen to 152 hours of an audiobook.
I can listen to an audiobook when
Karen,
I'm up
the
4 in
baby's
morning
been crying for the last 8 hours.
When I'm feeding the baby.
Wished I went to find out who Barbara Broccoli wanted as Bond.
When I'm doing one of my 3 school trips in a day, when I'm going to the fucking training, when I'm driving, when I'm at Mass.
Mass. You're such
When
an
I'm at my
Irish
in-laws.
cliche.
I really am. I spent an Audible credit on a book, on an audio thing that's about Steve Martin, the comedian, actor, writer, musician. And it's called So Many Steves. It's short. It's only about 2.5 hours long. It's kind of it's not a book. It's more of an interview, but it's a curated or kind of especially. It's basically about him and his career, the different Steves that he's been throughout his life, and it goes into his early life as how he got into comedy, his career as an actor, his career as a musician, his career as an artist, an art collector, and stuff like that. And it's just an interesting guy to listen to, and I thought it was a lovely, gentle 2.5 hours.
I'm going to recommend the Shuttle Pod Show. It's a YouTube interview show with a lot of the Star Trek alumni. A lot of my recommends for the last few weeks have been Star Trek related. I don't know why. Ever since Picard, I've just gotten a fierce buzz for it. But it's by 2 of the cast members from Star Trek Enterprise. The doctor on that show and the engineer. And they just interview a lot of the old cast. They had like LeVar Burton on, Robert Picardo, Gates McFadden, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to recommend that. And also, I'm going to recommend that... No, I'm not going to say it. I don't know. I never know how to segue into us talking about our Patreon. But you do it, Will.
Well, we're recommending... Well, what I'm recommending is our Patreon, our Discord, everything we do over there. We do a ton of stuff. It's a living, breathing community. It's also more shows, but it's a place to go, to be, to hang out with like-minded people. And I love it. We do our mini bits there. We do our added extra shows. Like we're going to be doing a retrospective
on the Indiana Jones films.
Yes.
Right now, as soon as we hit stop on this, we're going to record our thoughts on the first 4 Indiana Jones films, and then we're going to record Dial of Destiny once we've seen that and put it out on our Patreon feed.
Buy that for $1.
Because you don't want to piss off your Lucasfilm friends.
I ain't got no friends in Lucasfilm. No, I just listen. I like having exclusive Patreon content for the people who subscribe to us for the price of a coffee once a month. Get loads of extra content. They also get to join us on our Discord, which is a great place to hang out. It's our Twitter. It is the place I go to more than any other social media. Yeah, it's a good way of supporting us.
It is. Also, because we're back now recording main episodes of the podcast.
Yes.
We're not going to be pumping out these whatever podcasts as regularly, only if we've seen enough stuff that we really like. There'll be a lot of good stuff coming out over the summer, but we don't want to get into a grind mindset of like, we need to watch 15 different things and also record and prep the main show at the same time. So we'll be putting out stuff on our Patreon that'll be very similar to these types of episodes over the summer.
Kevin, listen, don't bury the lead. The lead is we're back recording the main show. Isn't that so exciting? We've got the first episode in the bag. It is almost fully
and our
edited.
Patreons picked the topic. So if you want to hear us continually over the summer, come over to our Patreon. The next episodes out from us over there is going to be our review of Dial of Destiny. We'll pop up on the main feed here and there, but we're going to bank as many of the main shows as we can, and then we're going to start releasing them hopefully quite soon before the summer's up. There you go.
Very exciting.
There you go.
Lovely job. Right, take that now.
Take it.
Back off.
Take it.
Go down to the shop.
Take it.
Get yourself an ice cream and get me a bag of fags.
That's it, homie. Take it. It's yours.
Stop.
Talk to you soon. Love you.
Oh, good luck.
I'ma put it in my pussy. Rita make me freak it. I'ma open my legs. I'ma give you some legs. I'ma put it in my pussy. I'm lying. I'ma be asleep.
The best bits, or whatever.
And here's a clip from the next Patreon episode.
Hello, and this is the Mini Bits. This is Will, and I've been joined, once again, as always, and forevermore, by Kevin. Hello, Kevin.
It's great to talk to you again. How are you?
Great to talk to you too. Jesus Christ, I'm in great form. How about yourself?
I'm sure I can't complain now. I mean, I suppose I could, but I won't.
So why would you want to complain? It would only bring the wrath of the gods down upon us. Burn them on! Fear!
Will we start a timer?
Okay. What the fuck are we setting a timer for?
We're setting a timer because we are doing a little precursor to... This is going to be a specialised mini bits. It's the Indiana Jones and the best bits. So we're going to see the Dial of Destiny. And like a lot of people out there, we've been revisiting the Indiana Jones movies to sort of get up to speed. And we thought we would record a little taster of what we think of the first 4 Indiana Jones movies before we go see the 5th one. And then we'll come back and we'll review it exclusively for all you mad bastards over here on the Patreon. So that's what we thought we'd do here.
I'm all for that.
Before you set the timer, was there something you wanted to talk about that you said was mini bits content, but not main feed?
Oh, okay. Right, okay. Very, very, very. So I haven't discussed this with you at all.
You haven't.
All right. So,
Will,
right.
Can I just ask you one thing?
Yeah.
Don't give me any fodder that I'll be up till 2 a.m. doing all sound effects.
I
keep it dry and crispy.
I am not in control of your impulses. All right.
I'll be sculling Red Bull and I'll be twisting all the knobs.
It's not that. I don't know. It was kind of funny at the time. So what happened was, right? A few months. So I suppose the start of May, right? So I did a little Star Wars thing. I co-wrote a Star Wars thing, right? It came out, okay? Inevitably, what happens is when films come out and it gets coverage in the big papers, the local papers get a sniff of it and go, oh, hang on a second, I think I know that lad. We interviewed him a long time ago, and I'll ring him. I did an interview with The Echo, right? And it was for someone a journalist she'd asked me to do an interview ages ago, and she was actually very sweet, and she sent me a lovely present after it. I gave a talk to a group, and she was just very sweet. And I said, yeah, no bother, I'll give you an interview. And don't want to disparage The Echo, but The Echo aren't
Patreon. And here is a clip from the lad's latest Mini Bits bonus show. The full episode, plus 80 more, are available on their Patreon.
See ya, Mossy. I gotta go in and record another one of these fucking mini bits.
Oh, yes, this is all it,
I know. What are you doing?
Right now, on the Academy screener site, and I hit play, because there's only a few films on it, for the first month or two. There's only like about less than 10 films on it. And Guy Ritchie's The Covenant is on here. So I hit play on that, and I'm hearing we're out in Afghanistan, and I'm hearing all the dirt, and I hear vehicles, and I hear the sound effects of characters walking. But when characters open their mouths, I don't hear any dialogue.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's
no dialogue.
They've uploaded the wrong audio track. It's like that Tom Cruise trailer where it was just the sound effects.
Have you met an SP?
Yeah, and this film has been up on the screen site for a few weeks now, and they still have the wrong one here. Well, I tell you what films are actually up there for all Academy members to see, and they see what they've put up there.
But first of all, let's just throw to our theme. And I have to say, the feedback from my thank you ballad it was quite fierce.
The power of Christ compels you.
So I asked Mossy, who is a friend of my dad's at the quiz, sing us a theme tune.
Oh.
So over to Mossy.
Hit the cards. I'm fine, I'll get it done in one take. It's the Many Bits. Or podcast, what will they say? With Will and Kevin Cough.
The best fucking podcast.
That'll do.
That'll do.
My God.
Thank you, Mossy.
He would make an angel weep. That voice would make an angel weep.
Telling you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Boolabus.
It only cost us 2 months Patreon money, so, you know.
Is that all? Money well spent in my eyes.
Yeah. I mean, you can't get much for €20. Will, you were telling me before the intro that you were looking at stuff on the Academy Screeners website.
The Academy Awards. So for official members, yes. So they don't send out DVDs anymore. So how you do all your streaming stuff is all via the Academy website. And the streaming season has begun, which is exciting. So it means for the rest of the year...
Did it ever end?
It does end. It does. After the Academy Awards, there's about 2 weeks, and they take all the films down, and then they begin again at the end of August, and they all start coming up. So it's a whole new collection of hopefuls.
So how many films are on there?
Right now, about 10. Actually, 10 exactly. I can tell you the 10.
Oh, go on, tell me.
John Wick 4.
For the Oscars. Oh, because there's like...
Yes, because they're adding in stunt category, aren't they?
Are they adding it in? Is a stunt category being added?
I believe they're adding in some sort of stunt category.
Breaking news straight from an Academy member's mouth.
Because they're adding in stunt category, aren't they?
Slash film.
I don't know. Did I read this in an article? I feel they were.
I
felt they were.
Have long overlooked stunts, and my God, it's pure artistry.
Yeah.
And it is incredibly, well, these days, it's all fucking rubber computer generated avatars.
That's why we should that's why these people should be getting their Oscars when someone's actually going out then. Yeah,
go back,
absolutely.
Go back and give it to your man from Mad Max who broke his legs.
Give it to Richard Farnsworth, who was a stuntman and starred in The Straight Story. Yeah, Richard Farnsworth was a career stuntman. Absolutely.
Wasn't that also the case with Machete? What's your man, Machete? Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo.
Is
really?
It Trejo or Trejo?
I always call him Trejo, but he just says, call me Danny.
I was going to say that back to you.
Nah.
I was like, just that.
Weird.
Tells me just call him.